Good day everyone. As it is International Yoga Day coming, I wanted to make a small lecture on yoga, on what yoga is and on its origins, and I want to tell about main concepts which have to be understood by those who want to practice yoga and want to do it seriously. So let us start our lecture, and the first step would be Vedas as a primary source. I think everyone has heard the word Veda. If we translate it from Sanskrit, Veda means knowledge in general. And so it is a collection of wise knowledge which was revealed to 400 rishis, and 25 of the rishis were women. And we have four Vedas: Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda. Rig Veda and Sama Veda, they consist of shlokas or hymns which are more dedicated to different deities, and they are very ritual ones. And speaking about Atharva Veda, it is encyclopedia on all parts of life. Atharva Veda, it contains knowledge on different spheres in life, and like Dhanur Veda, it's art of war and arts of building and etc. So Vedas, it's not only they are not religious texts, but it is a text on which contains knowledge on everything. From the word Veda, Veda is to know, it's knowledge. And there are two types of texts in the Vedas. They can be, split up in two parts. First part of text are Shruti. These are texts with most of authority, and they are called heard. When I say heard, it means that they were heard by rishis in meditation. It doesn't mean that someone came up to them, but it was something that they heard during meditations. And texts are they are split up as following: Samhitas, it is the first part. Brahmanas, it's like these are commands to Samhita parts, and they are more ritualic ones. And then these are followed by Aranyakas and Upanishads. These two are more related to people who are practicing yoga already. For those who are finished their brahmacharya and brihaspa stages of life, and move on to practicing and to finding their higher self, and for those people who move on to self-exploration. And texts with lesser authority are called Smriti. These are remembered, and here Puranas, Shastras, and etc. And the main idea of the Vedas is Atman. And here is a text from Atma Upanishad. You can see the source. I have put it here. You can read it if you like. This means that everything there is Atman, and we have to understand that our world did not create itself. It was created by the will of some higher mind. And this Atman, understanding of Atman, it is the main idea of the Vedas. And there are Shat Darshanas. They are called 6 orthodox disciplines which arise from the Vedas. First is Mimamsa. Mimamsa is called research. It is focused on Samhitas and Brahmanas of the Vedas, and these are rituals to receive blessings of gods. And founder of this discipline was Jaimini, Rishi Jaimini. Second is Vedanta. Vedanta, it is focused on on the endings of Vedas, on Upanishads especially, and it is it opposes Mimamsa, because Vedanta says that we do not want to achieve blessings from God, but we want to know what Atman is. And Vedanta, it says there are three types of Vedanta: Dvaita Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, and Vaishishta Advaita. And they are they have different views on Atman. Say, if we take Dvaita Vedanta, it says that God, not God, but Atman. Atman is perfect, and Atman created the world. So these two are separate. Advaita says that there is only Atman and nothing else, and everything else is the dream of Atman. So when Atman wakes up, world ceases to exist. And then Vaishishta Advaita, which says that world is real, Atman is real, and the world is created from Atman itself. So everything in the world, and I would say personally I share this concept of Vaishishta Advaita, that the world is real, and everything in this world, it consists as part of Atman. And you can maybe hear the word Atman, it is related to word atom. So when we say first, people thought that the lesser part of the matter is atom. They didn't know that atom could be split up in electrons and neutrons and protons, and they thought that the smallest part is atom. So you can hear the similarities between words Atman and atom. And the founder of Vedanta was Vyasa. Then these two are followed by Nyaya and Vaisheshika. These two are purely scientific parts, purely scientific disciplines, and they are Nyaya is more justice and logic, and Vaisheshika is metaphysics. For the first one, founder is Gautama, and the founder of Vaisheshika is Kanada. And then two sister disciples, these are Sankhya and Yoga. Sankhya is translated like number and metaphysics, founder is Kapila, and Yoga is sadhana, founder is Patanjali, a wide-known man nowadays, because many people practice yoga, and many people now start to read the books, read the text, and to view yoga as something different than only physical exercise. And how I understand these two disciplines is that Sankhya is a theoretical part, and yoga, it is a practical part. So these two come very close together. And Sankhya, it describes the world. Let us move on to the next slide. You can see on the picture to the left, it is taken from textbook of Ayurveda, volume 1 by Dr. Vasant. And you can see the view of the creation of our world from the view of Sankhya. We see these two upper circles, they are called Purusha and Prakriti. If we take the philosophy, the only being beside the matter is Purusha. Purusha, it is the one who is the viewer, and Prakriti, it is physical matter, and Prakriti it becomes alive when Purusha looks at it. So Purusha is the reader, and Prakriti is the book. And the creation of world began when Purusha wanted to manifest itself. Purusha or Atman, they're called Atman and Purusha. These are equal. These are equal terms. Sometimes I say Purusha, sometimes I say Atman, but in general these are the same. And Purusha wanted to manifest, and Purusha wanted to know what happiness is. And when he joined Prakriti, because Prakriti came to help and started to reveal itself to Purusha, Purusha lost himself. in this matter. But together they created Mahat. Mahat or Buddhi, it is a universal intellect. And then it created Ahamkara. Ahamkara means I am. It is identification of self. This is a true ego. We can separate our ego into true ego and false ego. And what our true ego is, it is the self which knows the source. And our false ego, it consists of our vrittis, our samskaras, and etc. And we should not mix these two. And then from Ahamkara came 3 gunas. Gunas are qualities. These are sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva is purity. It means it is very light. It is very light quality. It is learning, and it is peaceful. Then rajas, it is energy of action. When something is moving, say when we are learning something, we manifest. We are into manifestation in sattva and rajas. Sattva, it is when we hear something and listen to something, but rajas, it makes us act. And tamas, it is very inert matter. It is hard to move. It represents sleep and winter and something very which is also necessary, because we need tamas too to be for the recreation of ourselves. But mostly we should try that sattva and sattva prevails in us, because this makes us see the world as it is. Say when one possesses a sattvic world view of the world, we can see the world that is actually is, and not as we want it to, not as we want it to see the world, but we see things as they are. And speaking about our human mind, it is our human. It is very hard to define one term, but here I use antahkarana. Antahkarana, it is a term which is described as internal instrument. So it is combination of several parts which we possess, and it is only available, let's say, to humans, because nor trees, nor plants, nor animals, they possess antahkarana. Because yes, they have a certain part of buddhi, certain part maybe of chitta, but they don't have that ahamkara. Ahamkara, it is, like I already said, is I am. It is knowing of self. And when we speak about buddhi, it is part of this universal buddhi. It is our internal higher intellect, and it is very close to this understanding of Atman. But buddhi, like all the other parts, it can be in 3 types of, say, a certain type of guna may prevail in each of these 4 parts. And when sattva guna prevails here, we are very close to understanding of higher self. We are very close to understanding of Atman. When sattva guna prevails in ahamkara, our ahamkara gives us not a feeling but understanding that we exist. Say I am, and I stop here. I am what I am, and that's all. But I know that I am. Then manas. Manas, it is a very extraordinary gift, because it is our mind, what we call mind. And when we say the word mantra, it is man, like manas, and tra, it is like protection. Yes, mantra, it is protection of the mind, or from the mind, if you want it. Because manas, it is a very registic matter, and manas is always on the move, because our mind, it likes thinking and mind likes thinking things over and over again. And if it is in sattvic form, we can easily concentrate, say sattvic mind, and easily concentrated, and we can use it as a very powerful tool, because when our mind is sattvic, we can direct it to the things that we know, that we need to, because when sattvic manas is directed by sattvic buddhi, we manifest ourselves in our best form. And then there is chitta. Chitta, it is combination of intellect and memory. Chitta, it stores all the experience. It is like something unconscious. Yes, it is our unconscious mind, but it manifests, of course, through consciousness too, because all these parts, they are closely related to each other and they are bound together, and it's very hard to separate one thing from another. They come as a whole, but in different parts. And when our chitta, when it is sattvic, it doesn't manifest any of our samskaras. It is calm, and we can be as we are. We don't have some strict patterns in our actions. We see things as they are, and we don't label things. We don't label people, because we see everything is unique. And this means that when chitta is sattvic. Of course, when our antahkarana and its parts are affected by other gunas like rajas isn't very bad, but it creates distortions, of course, and tamas, it is very hard to go out of tamas into the light, because tamas is darkness, and the one who is in tamas, the person would be very inert, and it would be very hard to start learning for such a person when tamas is prevailing. And of course, when we speaking about gunas, we must understand that everything material has all the three gunas. Even the most sattvic person has three gunas inside: sattva, rajas, and tamas. But when sattva prevails, rajas and tamas, they're submerged. They don't manifest. But in any case, rajas and tamas, they may take over sattva in a time. That's why we shouldn't stop in our development, because when we stop, it means that something else will take the place. We cannot say that we reached some point and then we can stop and rest. No, when we start stopping and resting, we start moving backwards. And now, speaking about our life and what goes on, there are four goals of life according to Vedas. First is karma. Karma, it is focusing on oneself. Say, I am focused only on myself and only on what I am interested in, and that's all. This is karma. This is to do what we think is good for us. But of course, there are different type of karma. Karma can be tamasic, like taking all the illegal things, and person who takes that, that person thinks that, oh, I like it, and that's why I will take such thing. But it is tamas, and it leads person into a worse condition. Karma may be rajastic, say person loves action and so on, and karma may be also sattvic. It is like pleasure from reading a good book, or pleasure from some from some dispute. I'm talking of polite disputes now, or pleasure of witnessing some painting or some statues. This is sattvic karma. Then we move to artha. Artha, it is the second stage. It is my. What is my? And artha is translated as a work. So people who put artha in their life as in the first place, these are businessmen. These people, they move this world and they create working places. They create things, and people who create, they are very. They take care of their families and of the subordinates. So those who are artha, of course, it might be someone who takes care of his family, or artha can mean that person views his employees like his family and takes care of employees too. So this is that artha is. So these people who create. Then it is followed by dharma. Dharma is when we think of others. So we view this world far more wide than only our family. We think on a state level, and we take care of, say, if a person is karmic, it means that say karmic specialities or karmic jobs may be doctors or military men, those who take care of the society, of the whole. Teachers these are also karmic jobs. And these people, they take care not only about themselves and their families, but they take care of the very vast range of people, and they think globally. And then moksha means freedom. This is the one who is called Brahmin. Brahmins or teachers, they are mostly focused on moksha. And moksha means freedom. It is freedom from not only from our physical body, but it is freedom from the wheel of samsara. It is freedom from this wheel of birth and death. This is one who wants to achieve Atman, and the one whose main tendency is moksha. That person is ready to leave this world and to move on to Atman, back to Atman, back to pure and balanced state. And here in this world, every one of us, we have 5 clashes or afflictions. First is avidya, it's ignorance. Then asmita is false ego. Raga, attachment. Dvesha, aversion. And abhinivesha, it's fear of death. And avidya, it is put on the first place, of course, because and I really share this point of view that source of all the unhappiness in our world, it doesn't come from knowledge. Some say that great knowledge brings great grief, but I don't think so, because I think that avidya or ignorance, this is the thing which brings grief, but not knowledge. Knowledge is the light, and we must move from this avidya state to vidya, to knowledge, because it will make our life happier. Because when we see things as they are, avidya, it is like a darkness which clouds us around and makes everything distorted, and we don't see things as they are, and we think our mind manifests. Say, when we put person in a dark room, especially a child, and when child is left all alone in a dark room, and the child might see some monsters which are created by his mind. But if we turn on the light, if we eliminate avidya, we turn on the light, and person sees the room as it is. So the person becomes happier because the person becomes serene, and the person is able to see that there are no monsters around, this is only a room. And this is how it works, that's elimination of avidya. This is how it works. Then false ego. We have, as I already said, we have our ahamkara. This is a feeling of I am. This is a feeling which separates, on the one hand it separates us from the others, but this is also ahamkara also unites us with Purusha, with Atman, because every person, every human in this world, they also have this ahamkara, so it gives a sense of unity too. This is the person which thinks of him or herself as a separate person, on the other hand understands that we are all the one. But when asmita prevails, it means that person becomes egoistic, egocentric, and that person forgets about his or her pure nature, about the origin, about the source. And person in asmita state, when asmita is very strong, it means that person thinks, say he substitutes this understanding of higher self to some desires, to some, I don't know, to some emotions and so on. And person doesn't want to, probably person wants to, but in general person with strong asmita is unable to see the light within himself. Then the person will put everything else in the center except of his own self. It is very hard to explain, but say I wanted to make some example, but say the person wants to purchase a car so badly. Oh, I want that red Ferrari and I don't want anything else. So when person asks, if person is able to ask himself why I want that car, and he would think of, I don't know, so everyone love me, so I want to drive fast, and so on and so on and so on, a million reasons. But in general, they all will show that person doesn't value himself. He wants to be someone else by showing off. And it doesn't come only with physical things. Some people want to become more enlightened, more knowing, more, I don't know, more spiritual. And this is asmita, but on the other level. And I'd say when asmita is manifested on physical level, it is not that dangerous. Of course, it is unpleasant to see some egocentric persons, but when asmita, when someone with spiritual knowledge and someone walking spiritual path falls into that asmita state, I have met a like person myself, and experience wasn't very nice, because that person thinks of himself as of the most knowing, as only the one enlightened, and that person doesn't want to hear any other points of view, and oh, I am the best, I am the wisest, I do everything as it is written in Yoga Sutra, and the others are useless and worthless and so on. And such person, on the one hand, yes, moves on the spiritual path, but on the other hand, that person falls into very deep tamas. It is how to say, tamas in a very yes, it is tamas in a very it is very spiritual tamas, but afterwards it will lead to falling back to material world again. Because as soon as we stop being conscious of ourselves, understanding ourselves, then we move back to the root matter and going back to our how to say, it leads us back to avidya, I'd say so. Yes, when asmita grows, say we eliminated partially avidya, but we didn't conquer our asmita, it will move us back to avidya once again, because everything everything is a wheel. We live in this samsara wheel, and wheel is turning and everything changes. Then there are two sisters, raga and dvesha. These are attachment and aversion. And why I put them together and call them sisters, because it is from yoga point of view, it doesn't matter if you like something or hate something. You have strong emotions towards anyone or anything. Say, one loves sunny weather so badly. Yes, I love the sun, I like sunbathing and so on. Person loves it. And when the sun is clouded and it is cold, person feels sorrow. On the other hand, someone hates the rain, and that person is constantly speaking, oh, I hate the rain so much, oh, I don't like the rain, I wish it would be sunny, and so on and so on. But in general, these people are wasting energy on the things they cannot change, because you cannot affect nor sun nor rain. These are natural things, and they don't depend on human will. And when we are attached to something, we develop a connection, and our energy starts flowing into that matter which we are focused on. And so we must regulate our attachments too. On the other hand, when we experience dvesha, we hate something, we also are focused on that thing, and we do share our energy with the things we hate, because it is very unproductive to hate anything. Because when people hate something, that object of hate, it drains that person from the energy. It is like, I don't know, one is constantly thinking about things which he doesn't like, and will it change anything? Not of course. We must develop a neutral state, a state of viewing things as they are. And then the final one is abhinivesha. It is fear of death. It is a disease of our civilization of the modern world, because we are afraid to speak about death. And death, it is a natural part of life. Like life and death, they are all the same, and they constantly change places. Life and death, they're like a change of seasons. And we shouldn't ignore that, and we shouldn't be afraid of that. And now, when such an, I'd say, materialistic points of view prevail, people are really scared, because they think that, old age has come and I will die, and oh, that is terrible. But it is like the way the life goes. It is normal, and we shouldn't be afraid. We should be we should respect the death, but not be afraid of it. And we should mind it. When we do something, we should think of how our actions and how what we want to possess, how it looks in front of the death. Say, if one desperately wants a new iPhone, and just compare this iPhone with the death, are you ready to die for it? And if yes, then it is the way the person values his or her life, and if no, then why it should be so desperate about not owning an iPhone. So when we want to make a choice and we make some kind of decision, we should mind the death. So mind how it will look on the facing the death, and it gives this exception. It gives very good sense of stability, and it gives honor, yes, probably honor to one's action, and it gives braveness, because the person becomes brave. Person with no fear becomes brave. When the fear is overcome, person becomes brave. So we should work on eliminating all these 5 clashes. And it is say when we are free, we are godlike, because freeing ourselves from these 5 afflictions, we make our mind that pure that we see the Atman again. And then about the reasons why we come here, yoga and Vedic philosophy, and I myself, I share this point of view that we don't come here only for one lifetime. We are constantly coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. And as you can see on this picture, yes, when death meets elderly person and life brings forward a newly born child, and we are in this wheel, constantly spinning and turning and so on. And what does hold us here? We are held here by karma. Karma means action. It doesn't mean it, and it is not necessarily a bad word. I have seen this some demotivators on the internet that they view karma as something bad. No, karma isn't bad. Karma might be good or bad, or nor good nor bad. It is like reason of the action and result. And it is and this law of karma is when you do something, you receive the result, either in this lifetime, either in next lifetimes. And there are 4 types of karma. Basically there are 3, but Jyotish, it's Vedic astrology, they operate one more type of karma. It's Agama karma. But first karma, it is Sanchita karma. It is all the accumulated karma, everything that we have done through all our lifetimes. It is stored in like one record book, and it is called Sanchita karma. When we are born in this certain point and some certain date in this lifetime, we have prarabdha karma. These are some results arising from Sanchita karma, which determine, but not strictly, of course, our current lifetime. And when we learn about our karma, when we learn our birth chart, and that's why Jyotish works here, yes, when we are conscious about our karma, we become rulers of our own fate, and we know where and what we can expect. Say when this Jyotish, and it's study of karma mostly, and it gives insight on what person really is. And when we learn to understand ourselves, when we learn to how to manage the energies within, and this is when we become rulers of our own fate. Then we have Kriyamana Karma. Kriyamana Karma, this is karma which is created now by our actions. And of course Kriyamana Karma, it depends on Sanchita Karma and on Prarabdha Karma. They are closely related. And I see in a picture then a shooter with the arrows. He's standing and aiming at the target, and he has I don't know, some bag with arrows, and this bag with arrows, this is our Sanchita Karma, arrow which is put in the bow. It is called Prarabdha Karma, and the arrow which is shot, which is already flying, it is our Kriyamana Karma. And if we acknowledge our Prarabdha Karma, if we understand it, then it is of course easier for us to shoot in the right direction, and we achieve the goal very efficiently. And the fourth type of karma, it is Agama Karma, which is viewed by Jyotish. It is a karma of thoughts. When we constantly think about something, we can get that result in the next lifetime, because we make scars in our chitta, and these scars are called samskaras, and we can create samskaras not only by some real life events, but we can also make samskaras with our thoughts. And this Agama Karma, this is, yes, it is karma of thoughts. And I'm on Ayurveda course now, and my teacher said that speaking about the body and speaking about our current condition, what the type of body we have in this lifetime, this is the type of body we dreamed of in the past lifetime. So we should learn to accept our constitution. It doesn't mean that we should accept our illnesses. Of course, we should try and do our best to keep us healthy, but we shouldn't be stressed that, say, some women are stressed that they don't have curly hair and they have straight hair, and it is very widely popular. I don't know, in my country, when some girl has beautiful curly hair, she takes that special hair ironing and starts straightening with them, and vice versa. When the one who has beautiful straight hair, the girl starts making them curly, and this is a funny thing, but yes, it is the way it is. But if we're speaking seriously, of course, if we do not accept our constitution, and if we hate our body, if we hate ourselves, then we can fall easily into depression, and we can but we can provoke some very hard states and diseases, because our ahamkara, who takes care of our body, this is one of the duties of ahamkara, to take care of the physical body. And when ahamkara sees that manas doesn't need that body, and ahamkara, it refuses to be on duty, because if you don't want it, then I don't want it too. I don't need to do that. And ahamkara, it stops taking care of the body, and then some diseases may come, and very unpleasant diseases may arise from hating ourselves. And yes, I forgot what I wanted to say, but okay. And then I will say a few words about creation of karma. So we create karma every time we do something. We create karma. But how is it created? First, if you remember that drawing with Prakriti. Prakriti in Ayurveda, it's also called our initial constitution. But we cannot call Prakriti only a physical thing. Prakriti, it is like something initial. And when Prakriti is manifests itself in this world, we call it Vikriti, because it is it's partially distorted by the birth. Because when pure mind, pure consciousness it comes in touch with the matter, even on these thin levels, on the high energy levels, the idea becomes distorted, because matter distorts it. And when Prakriti is born into this world, it becomes Vikriti. Vikriti is something distorted. And that Vikriti, it receives samskara, or impressions. Samskaras may be good, they may be bad. Say, if a person ate junk food once, and person created samskara in eating junk food. And say if he likes the junk food and continuous eating of junk food will create a samskara, of course, because it is addiction to taste. And when samskara is created, it forms something called vasana. Vasana is like a scar. It's like when we made a scar somewhere, and vasana, it is called full of desire. It is we freed the place for something that goes into the scar. And it may be the dirt. If it is a bad samskara, say a person is addicted to suffering. There are people who love suffering, and who love feeling, I don't know, feeling useless, and who love crying. They will not acknowledge that, of course, but in general there are people of such sort, and they are very hard to deal with. And so when vasana is created, it creates vritti. And vritti, it is a pattern of our behavior. Say we see something, and we use the vritti, and we categorize things. We don't view them as they are, but this is green and this is round. Yes, then it's watermelon. And nobody cares that it might be an apple. No, if it is round and green, then it's watermelon. And this is how samskara works. And if we see, I don't know, white box, yes, white box, it is a refrigerator and nothing else. So this is how vritti works. Yes, vritti. And the more vrittis we have, the more times we are born into this world. And every time we are born, this karma is created once and once and once again. And if we don't start to realize our samskaras, we don't start to realize our vasanas and stop our vrittis from manifesting. And yoga, it is chitta vritti nirodha. It is something which stops our chitta from manifesting vrittis. And if we don't stop that, we are stuck more and more here in this wheel. And every time, say we have some task to complete in this lifetime, and if we don't understand it, if we don't understand our task, we don't understand what our dharma is, then we are born the next time with the obligation to fulfill the same task, but each time we are postponing this task, and each time it becomes harder and harder to complete. So that is why it is essential that we know our dharma, we follow our dharma, and we realize our samskaras, our vasanas, and prevent our vrittis from ruling our life. And then about the structure of human. Here we say the 5 koshas. Kosha means body. This is a point of view of yoga. And there is Annamaya kosha, It goes in the other direction. Say Annamaya Kosha, it is a physical body. It is a kosha created by the food. Anna, it is food. Then we see a Pranamaya Kosha, it is energy body. And we know that beside physical body we have an energy body, and these two are very close together. And Ayurveda, it works on basically on these two levels, because we regulate state of our body through food, through physical exercise, and through pranayama, it is breathing. And there are such channels in this pranamaya kosha. They are duplicated in annamaya kosha. There's and these channels which are the rivers. Nadi, it is the river, and these nadis, they provide all our body with prana. And if there are some blockages in pranamaya kosha, some blockages in these shrotas, in these nadis, then some distortions may be created in the physical body. And of course, as they all are linked, all the bodies are together, they work as a whole. In each lifetime, of course, we have different annamaya kosha and pranamaya kosha, but the other koshas, the other three, we carry them from life to life, and so on. And if our physical body is distorted, of course, we do not receive normal thoughts and emotion in our manamaya kosha, because then physical body suffers. We are not able to learn something. It is very hard to learn, and it's very hard to work on ourselves when something bad happens to physical body. Of course, sometimes disease might trigger spiritual growth, and I have seen such cases when people who were first, they didn't mind anything about spirituality and didn't mind anything about such knowledge, yes, and they became attached to yoga and to other disciplines just because something bad happened, not bad, but hard happened in their life. But of course, it is much more easier to move on the spiritual part, and if our annamaya kosha and pranamaya kosha work properly. Of course, some changes in them, they might trigger spiritual growth, and it is very common that person who comes to yoga has some internal issues which need solving. We all have such issues, of course, but if something really unpleasant happens, it might turn person into yoga. But of course, it would be very nice if people came to yoga naturally without any unpleasant experiences in their life. And then we have Manamaya Kosha, as I already said, it contains our mind and emotions. Then Vijnanamaya Kosha, it's the wisdom body of the body which contains all the experience. And then Anandamaya Kosha, it's the bliss body. It is the most pure body of all of the five, and it is like a shell which surrounds that part of Atman, that part of Purusha. And there is a pure part of Purusha within this Anandamaya Kosha. And what we must understand, when we achieve moksha or achieve samadhi, all of the bodies, they would be unnecessary. And only this essence, only this Purusha part remains. So achieving yoga state, achieving samadhi, seedless samadhi state, when person is free, it means that we are not born in this world anymore, and we are not born anywhere in this world. Not only as humans, we are not born anywhere. So it is elimination of ourself, and it is elimination of our ahamkara. That's why lots of people who practice yoga, and personally I don't feel myself that ready for total samadhi. I want to be present here, and that's why if we take classical texts and classical yoga knowledge, yoga was recommended for people who have already finished their deeds in this in learning, and their deeds in house. And when you person has a family, and when the I don't know how it wasn't. I don't quite remember. It said like when the son got married, or when you seen the grandson eyes, then you can leave this brihaspa. That brihaspa stage it means living in household. It's like a household life, and then you can, when the family is secure, then one can move on to being yogi and to being sadhu, and then after being yogi, one can move to sannyasa. It is a person who travels from house to house and doesn't stay anywhere longer than three days. This is sannyasa stage. And of course, karma is very interesting thing, and some people might jump, say, going from brahmacharya, from learning stage, person might move directly to sannyasa state, because I know, I consider that person to be one of my teachers. It's Dada Sananda. And I know this man. He knew he wanted to be a monk from the very beginning. So this is the this is how karma works. So person might become a great teacher, and person takes care of his students, and these students are like a family to him. So this is a way how one can, escape brihaspa and to move on to directly to practicing yoga. But most of us, of course we combine our life, our family life with the yoga practice, and if we don't feel ready to free ourselves, and of course freeing that total samadhi, it is also a state when we are not born here anymore. So all the karma is eliminated, all the good and bad karma, because good karma, it also tends to create an anchor. It's something which holds us to this reality. And when we have lots of good karma and we are born, and then we create bad karma, and then we are born again, and so on. So in general, this life of yogi means creating no karma. First it is eliminating of bad karma, and then creating of no karma, and then we step by step we are freed from the good karma, and then we are free. So this part of Atman which dwells within us, it's received all the necessary experience, and it moves on, moves back to the whole source where it came from. And what I also wanted to say, that it is very important that we understand that all the people are different, and we might be each and every one of us, we are on different stages in this world. And some has come lots of lifetime journey here on this earth, and some might be a younger soul, and that's why we should be kind to each and everyone, because we don't know what stands behind that person. and we don't know what experience that person has. And that's why we should respect everyone and try to treat everyone else with respect too, even if they don't share our point of view. It is very important. And about this is chakra system, I think everyone has heard and known about this. We have 7 major chakras. Chakras are otherwise this is marma point. These are points. There are of course much more chakras in human body, but these 7 are the major. These are Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna, and Sahasrara. So, and each type of action, each type of emotions, each type of vrittis are present till Ajna chakra. They affect the energy flows in these chakras. Say if person is wrathful and angry and very aggressive, it is this means that this person's Muladhara chakra is corrupted. It is it needs curing. It needs to be strengthened. If person is tended to some types of food, especially sweets, and to alcohol, and to some, say, pleasures of flesh and so on, this means that Swadhisthana chakra is corrupted, and it's and there is energy leakage here. If someone is attached to shopping and to some entertainment, especially selfish entertainment, this means that Swadhisthana chakra is corrupted, and it needs to be healed. And on the other hand, very strong Muladhara chakra, it gives us a great patience. It gives us a great health. And if Muladhara chakra is strong, we don't have any problems in material life too, because it is Muladhara chakra is responsible for stability and survival. So if we are stable and we are strong, then we can grow a very nice and big tree. And if we are not, if mula, it is a root. So when the root is corrupted, of course, this tree will not stand for a long time. It will fall under very gentle wind. So the same goes to Swadhisthana chakra. These 2 chakras are, how to say, they are both at the root. And there are certain yoga asanas which are meant for purification and for strengthening these chakras and for eliminating of blockages in these chakras, so the energy can go freely upwards. And say, if we take Kundalini yoga, it's said that we have a snake inside in pranamaya kosha, of course, not in our physical body, and the snake is Kundalini, and it lies beneath the Muladhara chakra, and when it breathes, it is asleep, and when it breathes, it produces a vapor, and this vapor goes up our spine, and this is why we should also keep our spines strong and straight, so the energy could move. And say, if we don't wake the Kundalini, but we waste our energy on Muladhara chakra and Swadhisthana chakra especially, because here the leakages are the most, then we create problems for our higher chakras, and we become concealed on the lowest existential level. I think I will make a lecture on chakras, because it is an extremely interesting how to say, theme and topic, and we should definitely discuss it, I think. But this is what I wanted to say about chakras for now. Yes, and to be born a human, we need to be on Anahata chakra level. Anahata, it is the first spiritual chakra. It is like a bridge. You see, there are 3 physical level chakras and 3 upper level chakras, and Anahata it is like something in between. This is it contains most this minimum of vritti, which makes us human. So if we want to achieve at least Anahata chakra and stay here, we should all strengthen all these lower chakras, like Muladhara, Swadhisthana and Manipura. Manipura, this is money, it is city, and Pura, it is wealth. It is city of wonders or city of wealth. And it is responsible for philosophy, for knowledge, for eyesight, for religious perception too. So these three, these are, how to say, this is, if these two is the root, then Manipura, this is what makes a human, yes, a social human. Then Anahata, it is beginning of spiritual human, of this is a gateway to the real human life. That's what I call it. And then Vishuddha chakra, this is chakra of heroes. Person who developed until Vishuddha chakra, it is a leader. It is a wise man, and it's the one who can change the world. It is human in the state of Vira. Vira, it is a hero. And then these upper chakras, they are Ajna. Ajna, it is knowledge. And it is internal knowledge and external knowledge. Ajna chakra has only 2 vrittis. And Sahasrara chakra, this is our connection to the divine. This is our connection to Atman. And when energy is here, we are not human anymore, not a being. We understand, we live as we are the parts of the Atman already. It is a state that is very hard to describe, but this is a state which yogi want to achieve. And then about yoga itself, I already told that yoga is chitta vritti nirodha, so it is prevention of minds, of chitta. Chitta, as you remember, it is how to say, it is our intellect and memory. So this is prevention of intellect and memory following patterns. We do not allow these vrittis to manifest. We got free from vrittis. And the one who practices yoga for enough is able to achieve Samadhi, which is the last stage of yoga. This is the goal of yoga. And so the limbs of yoga by Patanjali, by the Rishi Patanjali. First it is Yama and Niyama, these two. These are foundation of yoga. Yama, it is external rules, what we don't need to do, and Niyama, these are internal rules, is what we must do. And these two are very important, because without strong foundation we will never build a good house. Without good root we will not grow a big tree. And without these two first limbs we will never get an adequate spiritual growth. That's why it is very important to stick to this Yama and Niyama. First, Yama is ahimsa. This is non-violence. And when I speak of Yamas and Niyamas, we should understand that we view ourselves as in 3 forms. It is physical form, it is how to say, speech form, and in mind, in our thoughts. So when we practice ahimsa, we are non-violent in our actions, in our words, and in our thoughts. Say, if one is vegetarian, and I am vegetarian myself, I don't eat animals. But if I say, come to a party, and I proclaim, I am vegetarian, I don't eat animal meat, and you are that very bad people, you eat the meat. This is violation of ahimsa rule. This is violation of ahimsa because, of course, I abstain from eating meat, but on the other hand, I eat the brains of the other people who eat that. And who am I to judge them? I don't have the rule to judge other people. I am responsible for my actions. So if I am vegetarian, and I just keep quiet. I say thank you. I will take something else. Thank you, and that's all. And what is most important, this is the level of thoughts. Because what determines us, these are the thoughts. These are not even actions, because every action, it might have a different thought underneath it. It's like a belief in Santa Claus. My son, he doesn't believe in Santa Claus because I find that concept very limiting. Because when parents say their child, oh, if you behave well, then you have presents delivered by Santa Claus. I think this is something which ruined many people's life, because people they think that if they act in some certain way, then they get a result. But the thing is that we must think correctly, and we must eliminate aggression from our thoughts, and we must be pure in our thoughts, because thoughts, it what becomes words, and words, they become actions, and for actions we get karma, but we get karma for the words, for the thoughts, and for the words too. And this is how it works. So we live a very conscious life, and we must analyze our thoughts. So we must think before we even think. And this is how this trick works. And then it is satya. Ahimsa, I think everything is more or less clear. This is what we do not harm any living beings. But what I wanted to add, say if a person is on a military service, and in some countries military service, it is a duty of all the citizens. Like I know, yes. So they have obligatory military service, and say this is karma of the person to go and to protect homeland. This is normal. It isn't violation of ahimsa. Violation of ahimsa is cruelty. Say when one is cruel towards the enemy, if I hope this will never happen, but in case the war comes, and if soldier protects his homeland, he doesn't violate ahimsa. But if he refuses to protect his homeland, then he violates his ahimsa, because there are people who are dependent on him. And if a soldier refuses to say, oh, I am so sattvic, I don't want to fight, and people might die because he doesn't act. And this is violation of ahimsa, because he left those who are dependent on him in unprotected state. And this if I'd recommend, just if no one, yes, I think everyone heard about Bhagavad Gita, but I'd recommend, if you didn't hear or didn't read, to read the beginning of the book. And the beginning of the book begins on a battlefield. And when Krishna gave Arjuna his teaching of yoga, he did it on the battlefield, because Arjuna felt he didn't want to fight. But Krishna told him that it is your duty. So this is our dharma. We need to live according to our dharma. And if it is our dharma, then we must do it, because we have duty not only towards ourselves, but we have responsibility towards the society we live in. It is very important to understand that we are responsible not only for ourselves, but only for the others. And it is very modern talk now that we are always talking about rights. But we should remember that there are no rights without responsibilities. If we don't care about society, then society will split up. It doesn't work that way if we want only to receive something. If we want to receive something, we must give away also. And so if we want to live in a law, in a state with where law is above everything, we must follow the law too, we must obey the laws. And this is how ahimsa works, and this is how dharma works. So this is a very important aspect I wanted to stress here. And then goes satya. Satya, it is truthfulness, and it is kind truthfulness. We don't come up to someone and tell that person everything we think about that person. But if we are asked something, we of course act truthfully. If we promised something to someone, we must keep our promise. This is also very important. If we promise to help, we must help. If we can't help, we can say, "Oh, I will try, but I don't promise anything." But if we promised, we must keep the promise. It's 100% sure. Then, of course, being truth in our words, we shouldn't tell the lies just to be liked by someone. We should speak the truth. It is very hard, and we must also mind ahimsa when we say that, when we tell the truth. But when we act truthfully and when we speak truthfully, there is no need in hiding the truth, because we do not harm people. We are as we are. I am that way, and so I am that way. And the third level of the truthfulness, it is being true towards yourself. We acknowledge our motives, we acknowledge our thoughts, we acknowledge our actions. We know that, yes, say, I didn't need to eat the pastry yesterday, but I ate it. And so I admit to myself, yes, I ate the pastry. It was, I don't know, it was my mistake. And I acknowledge that. And I don't look for some excuses. Oh, I was so upset, so I had to eat the pastry. Oh, my grandmother made me eat it. No, that doesn't work. That isn't satya. This is the state when we start looking for excuse. And if we are not looking for excuse and we are true, yes, I made a mistake, yes, I wasn't correct, yes, I will abstain from the same mistake further. Then this is how satya works. Then I stay. It's non-stealing. Of course, stealing on physical level, this is everything is, how to say, okay, we know that there are laws and there is police and so on. Stealing of, but this is also goes to plagiate, when someone steals the content from other people's and transfers these thoughts as these thoughts are his own. This is also comes to this asteya, and yes, this is the further we go, the harder it becomes, of course. Then aparigraha is not hoarding, so we do not hold on to things. This is how to say, this is understandable, but we are not holding on to some emotions. Say, I met the people who like mourning. They are, oh, I'm so unhappy with my life, and so on and so on. Everyone makes me cry. These people, they are just holding on to their emotions. This is also goes to aparigraha, because we don't need to hold on to something bad or something good. We just view it as it is. We are spectacular here. We just watch, and we do not interfere. And if we interfere, we find that state, so we are not very deeply stuck in something. And when we are very attached to something, and then we should stop. And this is how the yogi must work. Say, if someone is very proud of how he is doing a Shirshasana or headstand, then this is time to review. When you are becoming proud, and you have some knowledge, and you don't want to share that knowledge, this is time to review take and review these limbs of yoga once again, because it is very interesting. In each state of sadhana, in each state when we practice yoga, it is very interesting to review these limbs of yoga, especially Yama and Niyama. And on each stage, understanding of these stages, it changes, it becomes deeper, and it is very interesting to view how it works, and to find how these laws they are present in our lives and how they work. Because what I speak about is my personal understanding, and it is my some of the notes I have taken in my mind. Because when I see some situation or some manifestation, I can just not evaluate, this is not the correct word, but I can see how it complies with this yamas and niyamas. And it is very interesting process to watch the world and to watch yourself. And this is very useful, not to mind yourself only on the yoga mat, but mind yourself always in every situation. And it gives after some time, if first of course it might be pretty hard, but then it leads to a stability, and it eliminates this aggressiveness. Because with seeing how these yamas and niyamas are present in our lives, then when we try make our behavior and our thoughts to comply with these yamas and niyamas, we see how these avidya and asteya, how they are removed. And it is a very nice process. It is like taking a good shower after hard work. And then it's brahmacharya. It is in narrow understanding. This is abstaining from excess pleasures of flesh. These are some addictions to food, to taste, to something, to just some other actions. But in general, brahmacharya, it is ability to see the Brahma, the creator, in all the things. So it is treating all the people and everything with respect. Because according to Vedanta, everything has a part of Atman within, a part of Purusha within. And when we see that you are the Purusha and the other person is also a Purusha, and you view him as a Purusha too, as a part of one whole, and you develop a state of deep respect. This is not tolerance. I don't like the word tolerance, because when you tolerate something, it means that you hate that thing, but you must be polite. It's not very correct, because one should develop a deep state of respect towards life, respect towards maybe some other points of view. And this is kindness and acceptance, but not tolerance, of course. Because as I already said, tolerance, it is like you make yourself do something in order to receive something. But we are not tend to grab things. We are here to ready, to bring the light. And if you are here to bring the light, this is developing respect, it is part of the job, of course. And then we move to Niyama. Niyama, it is an internal rule. This is how we, what we must do. Say it's Shaucha. First, it is cleanliness. This is cleanliness of our body, and not only taking shower. It has, yoga has Shatkarmas. These are procedures which make the body clean from the inside. It also goes to food, goes to washing the nose, and some other procedures, and yeah. And they are done in, they are taught by, some of them are taught by teachers, and some of them are, how to say, pretty hard to complete, but some of them are very effective. Not only from, yes, and they are good for health too. And then we think of Shaucha. It is also Shaucha, or cleanliness of thoughts, as I already mentioned. So this is cleanliness of thoughts, of what we think, and this is cleanliness of words, of how we speak. We do not speak dirty words, we do not speak ill of someone, but so we are not ignoring maybe, but we are not judging. Shaucha, I understand this one like working in close association with ahimsa, so it is cleanliness in thoughts, and this is cleanliness from aggression too. Then tapas. Tapas is self-discipline. Discipline is very important in life. In life of yogi, it's like understanding of what is discipline and understanding of what is responsibility. These two, they help a lot in progressing in life, because when one is disciplined, doesn't mean that person is limited. When person is disciplined, it means that person can distinguish what is right and what is wrong, and the person can easily, or not very easily, but person can abstain from something which harms the person. Say, I want to keep slim and I don't eat chocolate. So if I want, I have a goal, and if I want to achieve that goal, I don't eat chocolate. Maybe, possibly. So this is the way how tapas works. So if you want to receive knowledge, you must sit and study. This is also how tapas works. So if you want to achieve something, then you must take action, and tapas, it is also an energy of asceticism. Is when someone performs sadhana, then this tapas energy, it forms from that sadhana, and it is something that creates a good karma. So when we have enough amount of bad karma, and with tapas we create the possibility of getting good karma, of gaining a good result. And of course, tapas is important on all the three levels, in words and in thoughts, of course. Then we go to Santosha. Santosha is when we are okay with what we have. It doesn't mean that one sits on a dirty sofa and somewhere, I don't know, in the middle of nowhere and does nothing, drinks beer and says, "Oh, I practice Santosha." No, it doesn't work that way. It means Santosha that we, in every situation we are into, we are accepted, and we don't fall into some misery when we lack something, and we just work. We just say, okay, this is how it is. I just must progress. I just must practice forward. This is Santosha. This is I have a bowl of rice for dinner. Then it is okay. and so on. So we are not attached to physical objects, and we are not attached, of course, to mental objects too, and to thoughts. So it is a science of integrating all the three levels in Yama and Niyama. Then Svadhyaya, it's self-education. Very important part of yoga. It is jnana yoga or knowledge yoga. And education, it is, I'd say it is the thing that past generation fought and died for our right to educate, for our right to read books. And it is very important that we understand this value of education, that we value that we have ability to read, that we have ability to write, and we must use it. We must read books, and I always stress that we must learn fundamental sciences like physics, chemistry, and mathematics. These are three sciences which are, if we are deep within, if we understand how everything works, not only on that basic level like in kindergarten, but if we really try to understand this, how the matter works and how atoms, how they affect each other, then we have deeper understanding of how the world functions. It doesn't necessarily mean that we are into the science and we become scientists, but self-education in all the spheres, and self-education especially in exact sciences like mathematics. Mathematics is she is a queen of the sciences. It is a queen of common sense and of logic. If someone wants to have a good logic, then one must study mathematics, of course, because this is very important science. And that's why when I talk to people, when I try and I share some of my points of views, I always stress that we must educate ourselves, and we must find time, and we must, when we get knowledge, we don't store it as as grabbing it and doesn't share the knowledge, but we learn something new and we share this knowledge. And the more knowledge there is in the world, the more information, useful information, of course. I'm speaking now of useful information, of fundamental sciences, on sharing of philosophy. Say if someone reads Aristotle or Plato, of course it's good to discuss such things. I'm speaking, of course, of useful knowledge. And there is a saying that lesser mind discuss other people, middle minds discuss events, and great minds that they discuss ideas. So if we are able to discuss ideas, if we are educated, then it is very life becomes very interesting. And person who is truly educated and learned, that person isn't much affected by material things. So if person likes reading books, it is very hard to make that person waste money on something else, because he or she has a very rich inner world. And so it is some of the rude pleasures, they become unnecessary for such a person, and it makes life a lot of easier. Of course, such person is very hardly manipulated, because it is very hard to manipulate educated and develop personality. But if person really wants to become free, wants to achieve freedom of knowledge, it is a way to freedom, and knowledge is power, and always remember that. And the final niyama is Ishvara Pranitha. It is dedication of all the deeds to Atman. this is a way of not creating a good karma too. So I've spoken about creation of bad karma. If we act or think or speak ill of somebody else, we create bad karma. But if we are generous and giving and loving, we create good karma, which is also an anchor which holds us to this reality, to this world, and it prevents us from being free. And so not to create this good karma too, when we are freed from bad karma, of course. We dedicate, but we should learn to view ourselves like as a providers of the reality. Say, if we do something good for another person, we must not keep that in mind. We just do because this is our dharma and soul. We are not attached to the result. We don't expect that person loves us for that, and we do not expect that person, thanks us. So we just did and forgot about that. So this is Ishvara Pranitha. This is that we do something like a provider of some Mahat's wisdom. Then I think everything is clear here. And then goes asana. Asana, these are what most of the people now call yoga. This is asana. It is a posture, and what Patanjali said about the posture, it must be stable and convenient. So this is how we unstable and convenient posture for the meditation is Padmasana or lotus pose. In fact, it's for meditation any cross-legged position will do, because cross-legged position it locks our apana prana, our downward prana, and this downward prana it can't move downward, it moves upward, and then it creates certain processes within the pranic body, and meditation goes on. That's why spine must be straight and legs must be crossed. This is what about asana. And here I wanted to mention lots of new toys which are used to popularize yoga within a vast range of people, and these toys are like bear yoga or goat yoga or lemur yoga or some entertaining types of yoga. When of course it is good when people are practicing some physical exercises, but it is incorrect to call such kindergarten games yoga. This is not a yoga, and asana or hatha yoga, this is only a small part of whole the yoga science. So I don't want to stop a lot on that asana, on asana, because there is lots of said and written and lots of video on asana, but yoga, we must remember that yoga, it is a science of prevention the mind following patterns. This is a science how to free ourselves from suffering. This is not a science to make a headstand. Then pranayama. Pranayama, this is a limitation of breath. Prana, it is it's not a breath, it is like a life-giving energy. And yama, this is limitations. So performing some breathing exercises, we move and dose our prana, which moves through our nadis and purifies the body from blockages. And pranayama and asana, they of course they are essential parts if one wants to practice meditation and so on, because they eliminate blockages in physical bodies, so that physical body isn't making trouble for the one who is meditating. So when there are some aches or pains in the body and one tries to meditate, this is very hard to do that. So physical body with no blockages creates no obstacles in meditations, and that's why asana and pranayama are used. Fifth stage, it's pratyahara. Pratyahara means that one can withdraw the mind from objects of senses and turn them inwards. So we can mute everything around us and hear only what we want to hear. This is pratyahara. Or we can abstain from seeing something. This is pratyahara. This means that we control our senses and we might turn them inward or outward again. Say if you are trying to sleep in the morning and your neighbor wanted to mow the lawn, so you just take your volume from your ears off and you just sleep further. Then dharana and dhyana, these are forms of meditation. Dharana, it is concentrated meditation, and dhyana, this is when one is witness, one just views everything that surrounds him. And the eighth part, it's samadhi. It was what I was already talking about. This is our final freedom. And there are two forms of samadhi. It is seed samadhi with seed. So when ahamkara is present and person can go back to physical body. And seedless samadhi, it's when then all the patterns, all the vrittis, good and bad, all the karma is eliminated, and that part of Atman which was enclosed in our body, it is finally free from all the shells, free from all the patterns, and it goes back into Atman itself. So yoga, it's conjunction. It is something connecting to something, and it is not only connection of mind and spirit and body, but but I view yoga as our final connection to our source. So this is elimination of ourself, and this is going back when times come to Atman. This is returning to one whole mind. This is what samadhi means. Because so many who practice yoga, they declare samadhi as a goal, but of course achieving samadhi in this life we are not ready. And I start to think that we are here because we want to be in this world. When we don't want to be in this world, then it is samadhi comes naturally. But when we are free, and we are free from desire to be reborn here, we are free from being reborn here. This is what I was thinking about for some time, and this is what my point of view of the subject is. Okay, I think everything is more or less clear. I hope the lecture was interesting. If you have some questions, you can contact me on the Telegram. I leave the description, the address of my channel in the description below. So thank you for your attention. I hope it was interesting. Have a nice day, and have a good International Day of Yoga on June 21. And yes, be very careful on June 21, because there is a solar eclipse, and when it is solar eclipse come, we must take care of ourselves more than usual. Thank you very much once again.